This is the story of Dr. Martin, who was unrecognized by everyone after the accident. Even his identity was not acknowledged. Worried about this, Dr. Martin sets out to uncover why it is happening. The story begins with a scene on a plane where Dr. Martin is traveling with his wife, Liz. The couple is on their way to Berlin. After a while, their flight lands in Berlin. After checking out from there, they come out and sit in a taxi. In a hurry, Martin forgets his bag there. When he arrives at the hotel, Martin realizes that he doesn't have his bag and begins searching for it everywhere. When his wife goes to the reception of the hotel and takes information about her room, she finds out that there is no room booked in her name here. Seeing this, Liz felt strange and got angry. And now as she looked at Martin, she found out that Martin is sitting in the taxi and going somewhere. She didn't know that Martin was going back to find his bag. Anyway, Martin wanted his bag, so he left without telling his wife. Now, because there is no network on the phone, he can't even tell Liz, and she doesn't understand why Martin did this. The taxi driver saw that there was a long traffic lane. She takes a shortcut out of fear of getting stuck here so that she can quickly take Martin to the airport. Suddenly, their car gets into an accident, and the car falls into the river below the bridge. The driver hurriedly breaks the glass of the car and takes Martin out, but by then he was quite injured. Knowing about the accident, a medical team comes here and picks up Martin, while the taxi driver leaves from here. Seeing Martin's condition, he was taken to the hospital, where he regained consciousness after 4 days. The doctors tell her that you have been in a coma for the past 4 days. Martin was still very surprised. He starts looking for his wife. Then he asks the doctor, "Didn't my wife come here?" The doctor told him that we didn't know that you also have a wife. We didn't even know your name because we didn't even get your ID from you. No one came to look for you, so we thought you didn't have anyone. Saying this, they give Martin his stuff. Martin looked at his watch. Then he remembered that Liz had given me this gift. He then looks at his father's diary, which has some of the phrases his dad always used to say written in it. And there were also some numbers. Then Martin turns on the TV. He got information about a conference. Then he remembered that I was also going to go to this important conference, and now I have to go there anyway. That's why he started leaving, but the doctor tells him that your condition is not good yet. You need rest. So don't go, but Martin refuses. Then the doctor gives him his number and says if there is any problem, you can contact me. And Martin leaves from there and comes to the hotel. At the reception, he said that I had lost the keys to my room. Then he looks at Liz there. He tried to go to Liz, but the guard stopped him. The guard asked Martin for his ID. Martin said that I don't have an ID card, but this girl is my wife. That's why the guard took him to Liz. But what is this? Liz refuses to recognize him. But when Martin starts insisting, she calls the other man there who says I am the real Martin Harris. Hearing this, Martin was completely surprised. He doesn't understand what's going on here, and what should I do now? That's why the manager takes him from there. And to clear everything, he shows Martin the footage of CCTV and tells him to see. Liz came here alone, after which the other man, Martin Harris, came. He says I'm the real Martin Harris, not that man. The manager says, I don't know anything about this. You'll have to go to the embassy. There you will get all the answers to your questions. When he found out that due to a festival, the embassy would be closed for the next few days, Martin gets disappointed and leaves from there. He comes to a small hotel, but he does not get a room because of no passport. Martin calls his friend and tells him everything, what is happening to him. Then he noticed that a car has been following me since morning. He gets scared. He quickly comes to the metro and sits down and starts writing all those things that he remembers in his diary. After getting off at the station, he sees the taxi in which he had an accident. He immediately goes to the taxi driver and asks about it. They tell that the taxi is driven by a girl named Gina, and at this time, she works in a bar. Martin immediately went to that bar, where Gina says, I don't want to talk to you. You go from here. But Martin still tries to talk to her. But when Gina doesn't listen, he goes to the hospital from there to meet the professor. But he saw that the second Martin was standing there with the professor. He got angry. He started shouting at both of them and says, Are you conspiring against me? On this, the second Martin also gets angry and says, You're talking nonsense. I am the real Martin Harris. Here both of them start telling the professor about themselves. All their talks were the same. There was no difference. Then the second Martin takes out his wallet and shows it, which had his ID card and a picture with Martin's Liz. Seeing this, the lost Martin immediately remembered that he also had the same picture with Liz. But how did this man come here instead of me? He can't tolerate all these things. He goes crazy and falls unconscious. When Martin came to his senses, the nurse was in front of him. She gives Martin a detective's number and says he can help you. The doctor says you're still mentally ill. You need rest, and that's why I was telling you not to go that day. You shouldn't have gone. Martin says, okay, you tell me, if I wasn't Martin, would I remember everything about Martin? I believe something is seriously wrong, and no one is aware of it. The doctor says we're going to run some more tests, and Martin is taken for an MRI. But before the test, an unknown man comes there whom Martin had seen at the station, and now he started taking Martin. When a nurse tried to stop him, the man hits the nurse. Seeing this, Martin gets scared and quickly runs away from there. He comes out and sits in the ambulance, and the ambulance takes him away and drops him off. Martin calls Liz first so that he can talk to her again and make her understand. But the second Martin picks up the phone, which worries him, and he hangs up the phone. Then he remembered that the nurse had given me a detective's number. So Martin immediately went to meet the detective. He tells him everything and says, help me and bring my identity in front of the world. He gives the detective his diary, which has the words and numbers written by his dad. The detective asks, who was the last person you spoke to? Martin tells him to talk to the taxi driver. The detective says you talked to the taxi driver once, because only by listening to her, I can get all the answers. That's why Martin puts his money and stuff and goes after Gina. He says to her, you talked to the detective just once. Please, it will help me. And I don't understand why you ran away from there while you were a legal worker, not working illegally. Anyway, now you just talked to my detective once, and I won't bother you again. While the detective is calling someone at the airport and taking information. Actually, he had got information about a murder conspiracy. It turns out that the conspiracy is for the Arab prince on whom there has been an attack recently. That means someone wants to kill him. Martin tells Gina while giving his watch, just once, talk once, and she agrees to this. She comes home with Martin. Here, Gina told him that I'm not a legal worker in fact. I don't even have papers. I am working hard day and night and saving money so that I can get my papers made and get out of here as soon as possible. When Martin was in the bathroom, then Gina's door knocked. As she opened the door, people forcibly entered. They attack Gina, and a man catches her while the other starts looking for Martin so that he could kill him, but Martin, who knew they were coming, ran away through the window. That man came out of the window and started looking for Martin everywhere. But when he didn't see him, the man came back in. They were about to kill Gina when Martin came back and attacks them both. He gets into a fight with one of them. Meanwhile, Gina stabs man's neck with an injection, which gave them a chance to escape. They ran out of there, take a car, and left, but the goons were still following them in the second car. And this was going on for a while. But a time it came when their car was about to hit the train. In order to escape it, both the cars had an accident, but Martin and Gina run away from the car. They go straight to a club, where Gina becomes furious at Martin. She says, I think you're a murderer, because in the end, people like you are just murderers. Now my life will be ruined because don't know how I got stuck with you. Saying this, she gets angry and leaves. Then Martin once again starts looking at the numbers written in the diary. He tries to understand them. He understands that these numbers are a code that Martin decodes. As it is decoded, these numbers make up some words which become two scientific names. Martin comes to the detective with these names and tells him that I have only two names. I don't know anything except them. The detective asked, how much do you know about the prince? They found out that there's going to be a meeting about the famine and poverty in the world, in which the prince will also come. And someone is using Martin's name for this, so that in that meeting, he comes close to the prince and would kill him as he gets a chance. Knowing this, Martin also starts his planning. He takes Gina out of there and says, I want to follow Liz now because I know she's going to go to the exhibition and she must know something. He reaches out of the exhibition building and leaves Gina there. He follows Liz and goes inside. Then another Martin also came here. That's why Gina immediately calls Martin and tells him stay alert. Martin came close to Liz. She says, why are you following me? Martin says, I remember I came here with you. Were you doing all this and why are you doing it? On it. She says, if I don't do this, then he will kill both of us. And if you want answers to your questions, then find your lost briefcase. Saying this, she left. Then Gina also came here, and they both left from there. Then the detective receives a photo via email. In the photo, he saw Martin, and Liz means they came to the airport together. He realizes that this means Martin is telling the truth and that a major conspiracy is unfolding. Then the detective has. Martin's friend calls the detective and says, I want to talk to you about Martin. I will also prove his identity. So tell me where we will meet? The detective calls him to his house, but soon he realizes that Martin's friend is a murderer, and now he will get all the information out of him. That's why he mixes poison into his tea and takes his life. He doesn't want to die at the hands of the murderer. Martin came to the airport with Gina, where he got his lost briefcase, along with his passport and a lot of money. Gina says this place is not safe at all. We should leave. But Martin refused by saying that I can't go anywhere because Liz told me to wait here. He gives a lot of money to Gina and tells her to leave. She leaves, taking the money. That's when Martin's friend comes to him and says, I have come to help you. Now I will fix everything. When Gina was in lane for the taxi, she saw that some people were forcibly taking Martin with them. Then she quickly steals a taxi and follows Martin's car. Martin's friend had brought him to a deserted place and started beating him. Then he says, everything has always been perfect. You used to do your work very well. But this time, I don't know what happened to you. Saying this, he tells him that you are not Martin Harris. These are all false stories. I planned everything. I am the one who made you Martin and sent you here, but you ruined everything. Saying this, he prepares to kill Martin. Then Martin asks him, now tell me, who am I? He replies that you are a professional killer. Your job is to kill people. You came here to kill the prince, but you ruined everything, so now you're going to die. Saying this, he tells his companion to kill Martin. He would have killed him, but at the right time, Gina came here. She pushed that man and hit his car too. There was a blast in the car, and everyone, including Martin's friend, died. Martin checks his friend's bag, in which he finds a lot of Martin's passports, but each had a different name, which confirmed to Martin that yes, I am a killer. And tonight they're going to kill the prince, but I had to stop them somehow. We see the prince who has come to the meeting. The professor is also here, and Liz is also preparing for the meeting. She welcomes the prince. Then Martin and Gina also come here, try to come in through the back door, but the security catches them. Martin tells them to get everyone out of here because I have planted a bomb here. I had planted it 3 months ago, which I have to blast today. Hearing this, they check the footage 3 months ago. They find out that Martin is telling the truth. 3 months ago, Martin and Liz came here and they planted a bomb. And now Liz turns that bomb's countdown on. The hotel staff also found out about this, so they started to get everyone out. The prince was also there. He was also leaving. That's why Liz realized that there is no point in blasting the bomb now. So she goes to deactivate the bomb. Then Martin sees the professor who had come with both of his daughters. Martin finds out the names of the girls, the same scientific name that he found out by decoding his diary code. Then Martin realized that their target was not the prince, but the professor, because they want to get the professor's research, because this is such research in which the world's problems can be solved in a snap. However, if this research falls into the wrong hands, it could lead to significant problems. So today, they will somehow kill the professor. That's why Martin goes to the professor to save him. Then the other Martin also comes to kill the professor, but when they face each other on the way, they get into a terrible fight. Meanwhile, Liz also reached the bomb, but before deactivating the bomb, it exploded and Liz died. Martin also kills the other Martin, and Gina came out with this Martin. In this incident, only Liz lost her life, while the rest of the people, including the professor, were saved. The professor quickly wraps up his conference and announces to the world about a new crop. This crop will be so abundant that it will eradicate poverty and hunger around the globe. This news brings great joy to everyone. Martin gives Gina a fake passport along with a new identity of his own. After this, the two set off on their new journey, deciding to stay together. That's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. If you did, please give a thumbs up and leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about this movie and what other movies or documentaries you want me to review next. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.